Hello and welcome to the LCTV News. I'm your host, Mukala Kabongo. In this edition of the LCTV News, Lynn receives grant, Lynn Shore Showdown, Freedom Fish, sit down with Jared, the creator, and more. The City of Lynn has received a grant in the amount of $200,000 from the Massachusetts Gaming Commission. The community mitigation grant was approved during a public meeting last Thursday in Boston. The community mitigation fund was created to help entities offset costs related to the construction and operations of gaming establishments. Mayor McGee in a statement says that the grant will be used to subsidize approximately $3 million in engineering costs the city is responsible to fund for the Western Avenue Transportation Improvement Program. The total cost of the project on Western Ave is projected to be $36.2 million. The Transportation Improvement Project extends along Western Ave from Center Street to Eastern Ave. It also extends 3 segments of roadway stretching around Stop and Shop, including Franklin Street, Boston Street, and Washington Street. Galleries at Lynn Arts announced their 5th show, Higher Purpose, which is curated by Sally Jacobson and Caitlin Yvonne. Higher Purpose provides wonderful local art and a sense of community. It will also highlight the intangible spoken word presentation, a tarot card reader, and a live character artist to capture the night. Gala will also be presenting Fresco Exchange, who will premiere their 2019 traveling exhibit in the community gallery. The opening reception will take place Friday, August 2nd at 6 p.m. There will be a meet and greet at 5 p.m. with the artists. Massachusetts Attorney General Maura Healey visited Camp Fire North Shore yesterday. The Attorney General's office awarded Camp Fire North Shore with a grant to help fund summer jobs for young people. The grant will also focus on health and wellness. The Russian Community Association of Massachusetts and the Food Project also received funding from the Attorney General's office. Now for the police update. Anti-Semitic and racist graffiti and symbolism was found inside of a proposed recreational marijuana store on Monday. Store owner Jordan Avery was appalled and speechless to see that someone would vandalize his store. Mayor McGee, as well as other city officials, have condemned the anti-Semitic act and has full confidence that the culprits will be brought to justice. The incident remains under investigation by Lynn Police, and anyone with information on the incident is encouraged to contact the local authorities. Lynn Police are investigating a stabbing that occurred on Jefferson Street Wednesday night. A 35-year-old man was stabbed 4 times. He sustained non-life-threatening injuries. Lynn Police responded to reports of a fight where they found the unidentified male bleeding from stab wounds to his chest and arm. The incident remains under investigation. A Lynn man was arrested on drug trafficking charges Tuesday night after $4,000 worth of cocaine was seized from his apartment. Richard Anderson was charged with cocaine trafficking after a warrant was executed by Lynn Police Drug Task Force at 20 Park Street. 40 grams of cocaine and $1,894 in cash was seized. Lynn Police arrested David Chen Monday night in connection with last week's shooting on Essex Street. Chen is being charged with carrying a firearm without a license, carrying a loaded firearm, discharging a firearm within 500 feet of a building, assault with a dangerous weapon, and assault and battery. On Saturday night, a 17-year-old was arrested after a traffic stop where he admitted to owning a loaded gun. The teen was charged with firearm possession without a firearm identification card, possession of a large capacity weapon, ammunition possession without a firearm identification card, possession of a firearm with a defaced serial number, possession of liquor by a person under 21, and motor vehicle lights violation. LCTV sent a crew to Nahat Beach for the 4th annual Lynn Shore Showdown, put together by Boston Youth Wrestling and Lynn School Committee member Jared Nicholson.
Today is the 4th annual Lynn Shore Showdown. We're doing a beach wrestling tournament, so we got a couple ring set up on the sand, just ropes around the sand, and we're wrestling. We've got a great turnout. We've got almost 60 wrestlers, and we picked maybe one of the hottest days of the summer, but we're really having a great time. We got Boston Youth Wrestling, who's here, who's been really supportive partner, and they got a bunch of kids. We have a bunch of Lynn kids from the new Lynn wrestling teams that we started, and that's a big part of this day, is to bring attention to the beaches we have in Lynn and to the new program we've started, the new Lynn wrestling program we've started. We've got teams at the Marshall, Breed, and high school level.
So Boston Youth Wrestling is a program that I founded 7 years ago. I'm a teacher in the Boston Public Schools, and I just saw a real need to kind of engage with kids in a way that maybe was outside of just the classroom. And wrestling was something that really worked for me as a kid growing up in the public schools, and it helped me go to college and have the career that I have today. Wrestling was something that I thought we could provide. In 2012, there were only 2 schools in the Boston Public Schools that had wrestling, and today we're working with 17 schools total in Boston, Chelsea, and Lynn.
Wrestling, I think, is a great fit for the city of Lynn. You can have a big roster, kids of all sizes can do it. You don't need a whole lot of space, and there's a low cost to participate. You just need a mat, you get a mat, and you're good to go.
There's a lot of need out there for after-school programs and opportunities for kids. Not everyone's going to play basketball. Not everyone's going to play baseball. And so, we found basically like our corner, our niche, and kids, can see it today on the beach. You can see it on the wrestling mat. Kids are really interested in, and this was really Jared's idea to do the beach wrestling. Beach wrestling is sort of another aspect of the sport, competition-wise. You guys have a beautiful beach here. So it kind of made a lot of sense, and for us it was an easy partnership. We bring up the volunteers, and we try to engage the community to come out, and Lynn just hosts.
There's some great lessons you can learn in wrestling, and discipline, teamwork, hard work. There's not much out there where there's so clear a correlation between the effort and time you put into it and the results you get. So I've been really proud to help bring wrestling to Lynn, and we're really excited about it.
We're a program where we really engage the whole community. Whether it's today there's public school kids, there's charter school kids, there's parochial school kids, there's private school kids. Everybody's here. There's kids from Rhode Island, there's kids from Lynn today, there's kids from Boston. And so for us, I think it's just been really cool to see how engaged the community's been across the sport in this state and actually across New England. We're a program that doesn't just cater to one type of kid, but to everybody, regardless of your background, regardless of your ability. If you have a disability, or a learning disability, whatever it might be, we kind of work with anybody.
Veterans gathered at the Lynn Ferry on Blossom Street for the Freedom Fish Lynn. LCTV spoke with the veterans about the special event.
I'm a Marine Corps Vietnam veteran. This is the first year that Teddy Smith has run this fishing derby for veterans. We had approximately 100 veterans come out to fish today. 25 boat owners donated their boat and their time. Fish and tackle. I think the weather was terrific. Many fish were caught. We plan on continuing to have this event year after year. So some of the money will be donated to my organization, Disabled Women's Veterans. We supply food, transportation, and clothing to America's veterans in need, people in hospitals, veteran VA hospitals. We do scholarships to young military family members. Again, it was a beautiful day here in Lynn. Many fish were caught. They're going to weigh the fish in now.
Nice fish. Beauty. Beauty.
I want everybody to know what a great time this is. It's all the vets of the city. They were out there fishing today. I see a lot of old friends, all the city councilors, the mayor's office, everybody supports this. George from Brothers Deli. I mean, it's just such a great event, and it's just another one of Lynn's finest moments.
just want to say thank you to everyone who helped put this together. This many veterans all coming together from different eras, all kinds of every branch, other communities, not just Lynn. On a day like today, it really is incredible. The camaraderie that comes from a day like today is just something to watch, and I think it helps veterans come together at a time where it's not always easy for us to get together. On top of that, a lot of the money that's been raised is going to go to a couple different programs above and beyond making sure that nobody today, not one veteran, it cost a veteran a dime. This is free of charge for every veteran who took part. The money that is proceeds from it are going to go to the Lynn Veterans Council, which is going to be used for events throughout the city to honor veterans and their families. So once again, thank you to Freedom Fish Lynn, thank you to the Mayor's Office, the EDIC, Jimmy Cowdell, and Ted Smith, and the amount of volunteers and people that took to put this together is just hard to really, you're going to miss somebody, but the staff over at the EDIC, Mary Jane Smalley, Pauline Sabino, Peggy Phelps, just so many people. It was really incredible to see, and I want to thank everybody, and hopefully again we can do this again next year.
Residents gathered on Munroe Street to protest the building of the new luxury apartments, as well as the employees who have been hurt on the job. LCTV sent a crew to speak with the protesters.
We're here to fight for fair jobs, health care, safety for workers, fair housing, and looking to put Lynn students from the Folk Tech to work on these projects and to give the opportunity for people that live in Lynn to work in Lynn, and fair paying jobs and safe jobs for the community and no gentrification.
What does that mean? It's simple. 4 things: safe jobs, good jobs with benefits, affordable housing, and community benefits. Michael Procopio got $2.5 million tax break. And what do we get? We got a wall collapse that trapped 20 workers and seriously injured one who have lifelong health complications.
And I'm here because of the decision that the City of Lynn did with this development company, that they gave them $2.5 billion cuts in taxes, and the City of Lynn is getting nothing. We're fed up. We're tired. We can't even live in the City of Lynn because rental is so high. And then also, they're affecting the workers. The workers can't do their job. They're paying other people to do the job and not even follow the rules and the regulations. That is not right. We want our city back, and we want to be a part of these decisions, not when they're making decisions behind our back. So that's why we're here today, to stop this. We cannot continue to stay behind closed doors and say we're concerned. We have to come out and talk.
What do we want? Justice! Let's go! Make some noise!
On July 17th, Lynn United for Change held a forum at the Lynn Housing Development Crisis in Lynn. LCTV was on the scene for the forum.
And finally, 78% of lower income people in the city are struggling with unaffordable rent. So this is the kind of crisis we're facing. Statewide, this is an issue as well. And just one quick number. In order to afford an average 2-bedroom apartment in the greater Boston area, a worker would have to work 122 hours a week at a minimum wage job in order to pay the rent. We know that's not possible. We know that's not human. And that's why we're here tonight, to try to move towards some solutions. When we started fighting foreclosures years ago, we found that a combination of grassroots action and action from our city council of smart legislation could make a huge impact. And that's what we think we need today. We need all of us to come together at the grassroots level, and we also need to look to our city government to support us in making sure that housing is affordable and decent and safe for the people who make Lynn what it is.
Lynn Department of Veterans Services held its annual Korean War Memorial Service at City Hall, and LCTV was on hand.
Thank you, George. I want to say thank you to the Lynn Veterans Council, Vice President Jack Marino, President George Fitzhenry, for really keeping these traditions alive in the city of Lynn. I've been here in this job a while now, but well before me, the Lynn Veterans Council ensured that every year we remember the Korean War. They remember the Vietnam War, and we remember our women veterans. Every year these ceremonies, they're sponsored by the Lynn Veterans Council, and not just in name only. Smart enough to learn not to talk over a truck. But I do want to say thank you to the Lynn Veterans Council for reminding us and continuing to remind us that we have to say thank you to those who served in the Korean War. They call it the Forgotten War, and what I know from my experience here is that it's not forgotten in the city of Lynn. So thank you to the Veterans Council. But what I'd like to do, would all the Korean War veterans in the room either stand to be recognized or raise your hand so we can say thank you right now. Please stand.
To watch the full ceremony, visit LCTV's website, lyntv.org, and click on the video on demand to watch that ceremony as well as others. On this week's Community Connector, we highlight the Street Soul Urban Art Fest at Ironbound. Here is this week's Community Connector.
We're gonna finish off this last battle. I need to see Lady Ice versus Beast Mode.
I represent that rec shop movement, and we are here at the Street Soul Public Music Series. It is a public music series. It is here for the public. This is so that we can display the talents that is here in Lynn in partnership with Entering Shaolin, which is the breakdancing event that we're having down the other end of the street down here.
This is the Art and Soul Streets Festival by Ironbound Lynn, and I'm out here today, just got finished doing a painting. You know, for me, I enjoy coming out here because it gives me an opportunity to practice my skills on a large scale. It's a lot of fun because it's like a lot of trial and error on the spot. People get to see the mistakes you make and how you fix them and wrap it up. So they get to see everything from the beginning to the end, which people don't really see when you're working in a studio.
There's a lot of B-boys and B-girls. We got DJ Rugged One in the building doing what he got to do on the ones and twos. If you'd like to donate, you can go right here to the GoFundMe page. That way we can keep things like this happening right here in Lynn.
So I've been rocking with Ironbound Lynn, Justice Born, way back to like a rec shop movement. We used to do events at Salem Willows. So for a really long time, many years, but out here with Ironbound Lynn, this is my second year in doing a summer mural for them. You know, I recognize that it's a hot summer day, but like I wish more people were here because it really is a lot of fun. There's good music, there's food, there's things for kids to do. You know, I think that this event will continue to grow every year. So definitely come out to Ironbound Lynn.
So it takes three things for things like this to continue to go on the way that they are, and that's people like you and people like Cisco, Justice Born, and everything that's happening here at Ironbound. So tap in, tune in, get into what's going on. Come down to the next one. You shouldn't be sitting at home watching me on TV. You should be down here enjoying the fun. Let's go.
Now for the sports update. The Wyoming Marlins defeated Pine Hill Braves on Tuesday 13-8 in the Lynn City Series. 10 different players scored for Wyoming. 10 different players scored for Wyoming. The Marlins were led by Dylan DeFilippo, who went 4 for 5 at bat with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. Colin Newhall had a big day at bat for the Marlins as well. Newhall went 3 for 4 at bat with 4 RBIs and scored 1 run. In the championship matchups in the 2019 Lynn City Series, East Lynn Mets defeated the Wyoming Marlins 4-2 at Gallagher Park. Jariel Benson went 6 innings, allowing 2 runs and striking out 8 batters. Jojo Hernandez went 2 for 3 at bat with 1 RBI. The East Lynn Mets also got contributions from Johnny Cruz, Kyle Richardson, and Nate Conde, who all each had 1 RBI. The Lynn Senior Little League All-Stars have advanced to the East Regional Semifinal after defeating Delaware 12-0. The Lynn All-Stars had 14 hits for the game, led by Riley Minion's 3 for 4 at bat, scoring 2 runs. Amanda Wilkins contributed with 2 runs and went 2 for 4 at bat. Emily Rodriguez also scored 2 runs and went 2 for 4 at bat. Lily Newhall struck out 11 and did not allow a run. But early Thursday morning, the Lynn All-Stars Little League's East Regional Tournament run came to an end after a 5-3 loss to Maryland. Lily Newhall went 7 innings, striking out 6, allowing 6 hits and walking 3 batters. After trailing 5-1 in the 6th, Emily Rodriguez connected on a 2-run triple to bring the Lynn All-Stars within 2 runs. But that's all the All-Stars will get for it, and they will not score again. On this week's Lynn Lowdown, we sat down with artist Jeray, the Creator. Here is this week's Lowdown. Welcome to the Lynn Lowdown, take 2. Miss Jerry, the Creator, is here. We're gonna talk some artistry, we're gonna talk about some painting, all that good stuff. So, what's going on?
I don't even know. Just trying to stay balanced.
Yeah, you was out there ironbound this past weekend showing some of your art. What got you into painting?
So I was initially started out to go to Salem State and everything, and then last minute decided to not go, which was a very intense decision to make, especially since my family wanted me to go in, and I got into special effects makeup maybe 3 months after that, and that kind of started my journey into getting into art. So I was just all right, if I can paint all this crazy stuff on myself, why not try to put it on a canvas or hat, sneakers, whatever.
All right, so so when you're doing your painting, what are your paintings portray? What are you trying to get out with your painting? Because some of them I saw, there was a lot of animation, the anime theme. I saw some cartoons. Who I see? Wile E. Coyote. I saw the Tasmanian Devil and all that. So you're a big anime person?
I am. For me, it's kind of staying in tune with my inner child and staying true to that nostalgia, waking up Saturday mornings and watching cartoons with my brothers, and it's just, for me, that was a great period of time, so I want to continue to keep capturing that in my work.
So what do you tell people? Because sometimes people can look at being the artist as you can't make a living off that, or that's, maybe you should put that to the side and stuff like that. But how were you able to just ignore that and just continue on following what you wanted to do? Because sometimes it could get overwhelming when you got so many people in your ears trying to derail you about a certain thing that you want to do.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes that can be a distraction to try and just take you off course, especially if you feel so passionate about what you're doing. I think it just comes down to how much you really believe in yourself, because everything isn't gonna come right away. I'm definitely realizing that still. Because I can work on something for months, and it's just sitting there, hasn't sold yet. But I'm just like, you know what? Like, when it's the time for it, when it's the time for opportunities to arise, that it's gonna happen. But I just have to stay patient and stay grounded in what I'm doing.
All right, so what's been your summer like with the festival and stuff? Because we just talked about you at Ironbound this past weekend showing up. So what are some other festivals that you've been a part of and some that you're going to be a part of?
So the one at Ironbound was super cool, just because when I was like sketching in middle school, I never thought like years later I would be in downtown Lynn selling artwork. It's kind of mind blowing, but I did Awakening Colors art show that is out in Boston. It's curated by Jules, and then I'm doing Basement Tribe coming up this upcoming Saturday in Chelsea to do a live painting. Pie Art Society next Tuesday or Wednesday, and then For the Culture Media next Saturday.
Oh, For the Culture with the with my homeboy.
Yep. So I'm just trying to get some pieces together for that.
Now, what do you use when you're doing your paintings? Like, I know there's a whole different kind of stuff. Like people use watercolors, people use different types of pencils. So what is like your best, the best things that you like to use, or something that works well for you and something that you're still, trying to get used to?
So I use all acrylic. I've been dying to get into oils, but like I already get paint everywhere. I feel like oils would just be too much. Yeah. So acrylic painting. I bounce between like sometimes I'll use like exterior paint from outside, just so the vibrancy on certain colors can come up brighter. And then I'll take painter's tape to block off certain sections just to get different patterns in there. And I know it's gonna sound crazy. I have like 5 favorite brushes that I'll usually do a whole painting with. That's why it takes so long. And they're like falling apart. They're on their deathbed, and I'm just like, all right, gonna have to like swap them out soon or something. So
you really got a connection with those brushes.
I do. Like one of them, like the top of it just like popped off, and I had to like super glue it back on.
There's no letting go. There's no letting go of it.
I guess not for right now.
Can you talk about acrylic painting and why? I know a lot of artists love acrylic painting. Can you talk about why that is?
I don't know. I feel like for me, it's comfortability because it's what I started with. So now I'm trying to find more ways to like evolve with acrylic, just because like it just smooths the way you need it to. You could mix it with different acrylics, different mediums as well. They have like leather acrylic, regular acrylic, but in a couple of months I am trying to explore into like different paints just to kind of break out of my comfortability with that.
Getting out of your comfort zone.
I have to. That's the only way I could grow.
It's also funny, you talked about the one time you were at Ironbound and it was a cold, windy day or whatever. You talk about that experience, just painting outside, then when it's windy and you got the brush going and the paint going all over the place.
Oh my gosh, that was my first time ever painting outside, doing a mural, anything. And like my hands were like literally like cramped up like this the whole time. First time I ever used spray paint for like any outdoor painting, so I was trying to get used to that. Then when the wind was blowing, the spray paint was going in a different direction. And then some of the outdoor paint I had like just wasn't sticking at all.
I know we got the Beyond Walls Festival happening, and a lot of spray paint artists, street artists coming. Can you talk about just the importance of graffiti art, because there used to be a negative stigma on graffiti art. There used to be, that's vandalism, that's, you're destroying property. But now it seems like a lot of communities are, they're more engaged. The higher ups are more engaged into letting people come into the city and do some graffitis on some of the buildings. Can you just talk about that?
Well, for me, I think it's really cool to see how that is starting to like bloom on its own and more people getting on board, because when these artists come out and they're putting their time and energy like into their murals on the building, like I think it's also thought-provoking too, what they're putting up, because you're just not looking at blank buildings every single day. You may see a piece on your way into work, and just that can like uplift your mood, or just like I was talking to another artist on Saturday about how they did the covers of the sewages with like fish on it saying don't throw your plastic in here. And if you're someone that litters, I know I'm guilty of it at times, and
don't litter.
But yeah, don't litter. Very important. But just someone that may look down and probably throw something, they'll be like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do that. Just from seeing a piece of art that, yeah, it's beautiful, but there is a message behind it too.
Yeah, definitely. What's your most what's the piece that you've done that's been your most proudest piece that you've created?
It was my golden Frieza painting, and someone just bought it, and I have such an attachment with it because that one was more like I was emotionally going through stuff at the same time while painting that. So it came through in the painting, and I was just like, oh, like I want this to go, but I don't want it to go. And that one I kind of experimented with like different styles of like throwing metallic paint in there too, so it's really cool.
Yeah, Frieza, huh? Frieza. I ain't like Frieza. Not a fan of Frieza. No. Now, if they want to see your work, where could they go to see your work?
Instagram at Jare the Creator, Jarae the Creator. Facebook is Jare Nobia, I think, maybe. And right now, that's the only 2 social medias I am on.
I'm 2 most important ones.
I know. So no, people are telling me Twitter too. So I guess I have to like.
Yeah, Twitter's a good tool to use to portray, to show your work, and just see.
I'm just scared if I get mad at like a Starbucks or something, I just like go on a little rant, because I feel like Twitter brings that out of people sometimes.
Yeah, Twitter is definitely the place if you want to complain.
Yeah.
if you definitely want to complain. And lastly, anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
Thank you for letting me come out and talk about my art.
Appreciate it.
Not a problem. Appreciate it.
Not a problem. You know, just Jare the Creator. Make sure check her out. Check her page out, her Instagram page, and check out some of the works that she does. She does some cool stuff. I like the Tasmanian Devil one. That one was pretty cool. The Tasmanian Devil was pretty cool. I want to see a Looney Tunes one or a Tiny Tunes. That's
all right. Now that you said it. It's going to come into fruition at one point. I don't know when, but it will.
It will. Yeah, it will. All right, guys. You guys been watching the Lynn Lowdown. Your host, Mukala Kabongo. Jare the Creator. Her name kind of sounds like Jaru the Damager, kind of like a rapper.
Oh, that might be my next alter ego now.
Jaru the Damager, the rapper?
Yeah.
All right. You guys have a good one. We out of here. And now for some upcoming local events. KIPP Academy will be teaming up with Kaboom and Delta Airlines to build a playground at High Rock. The building of the playground will take place Saturday, July 27th at High Rock Park. Volunteers are welcomed. On Saturday, July 27th, on the Lynn Common, Festival Latina will take place from 2 p.m. until 3 p.m. The festival is a celebration of Hispanic Family Day in Lynn. Food, games, and performances will be available for those in attendance. The City of Lynn's free movie night will be taking place Saturday at Goldfish Pond. The movie showing for this Saturday is How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. Movie begins at 8:15 p.m. On Tuesday, July 30th at Lynn City Hall, there will be a neighborhood meeting regarding Kings Beach. The meeting is to discuss the bacteria count and beach postings. Meeting begins at 6 p.m. On Monday, July 29th, LCTV will be holding a screening of the Emmy Award-winning documentary, The Relationship Between Police and Minorities. The screening begins at 7 p.m. and the Q&A will follow the screening with the directors. LCTV's next Paramount film series will take place on Monday, August 12th. The movie choice for August is E.T. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Movie begins at 7 p.m. Free popcorn and beverages will be available. Thank you for watching the LCTV News. Like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and visit us at lyntv.org to watch any show anytime on your computers, tablet, or phone. I'm Mukala Kabongo. Have a great day.